You can be great at scheduling, tracking KPIs, and writing flawless project plans. But the moment you're expected to lead people, everything changes. Welcome to the Project Management Masterclass, the show where project leaders are made. This platform exists for one reason. Tools don't deliver projects, people do. That's why the Power Skills Academy was created, to help project professionals master the skills that actually move the needle. Emotional intelligence, communication, collaborative leadership, and strategic thinking. The skills that elevate your influence and make people want to follow your lead. If you ever thought, what am I missing? This is your answer. Visit www.developpowerskills.com. The link is in the description. Now, here's your host, Brittany Wilkins.
Project Management Masterclass has amassed a worldwide listening audience. From Chicago to Los Angeles, Atlanta, North Carolina, Minneapolis, Toronto, Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, South Africa, Singapore. Thank you for tuning into the show. I appreciate you listening. I'm empowered as a lifelong learner to continue to find ways to grow and evolve as a project management professional. Whether it's from books, webinars, podcasts, or on-the-job experience. A couple months ago, I had the opportunity to attend the PMI Global Summit. What an experience. Talk about information overload. So over the course of the past couple months, I've been digesting and strategizing how to incorporate the things I've learned. So today's show, I just wanted to share some of my key takeaways, learnings, and insights from AI to how to build a customer-centric PMO and some work management tools, lessons learned. From the opening keynote sessions, tech talks, and demos, artificial intelligence, AI, was a focal point of discussion, as it should have been, as it's changed the way we work and live. With its emergence, I believe we must really now answer the question, how does AI complement and assist in the work that we do as project management professionals? For me, I've utilized AI as my copy editor assistant. In managing a series of projects under one umbrella, I have to send out a lot of communication updates to stakeholders. And there are days, if I'm being honest, when my emotional intelligence is very low. So AI helps me to really soften that message I need to get across when dealing with difficult people and difficult situations. And AI has served as my secondary note taker. It's increased my efficiency in the time it takes for me to recap meetings and send out minutes of the meeting. And it's helped me to develop scorecard criteria for how to measure critical KPIs on my program dashboard. But beyond these basics, AI is so much more powerful for projects and program managers. During the PMI Global Summit, the CEO announced PMI Infinity 2.0. It's an AI-powered project management coach that serves to deepen project and program managers' expertise. It really is intended to help you master complex topics, which will enable you to achieve project success. Since learning about this at the summit, I've been experimenting with the tool. PMI Infinity has the look and feel of the ChatGPT user interface. Featured within the tool are the chat prompt library with feature prompts like requirements traceability matrix, daily stand-up agenda, change management communication. I've been scenario planning how to descope a modularization program I'm leading. So I tested it out, seeing if I could glean any new, or would it spark any new ideas that I have not yet considered. And additionally, I explored the tool capabilities of the project charter document generator by inputting a dummy project and seeing how it would kind of spit the information back out to me. Now, there are two other tools within the AI Coach, which is the risk management and stakeholder communication plan. Those two tools are still under development. But I think the tool, it has potential, but again, I've been really cautious with it because it really is an external tool to my organization. So I've been very cautious and intentional not putting proprietary company data in the system, but only generic information to really see its capabilities. And as a follow-up to the announcement of the PMI Infinity tool, PMI has also released a guide entitled AI Essentials for the Project Professional, which I think is great because really too often we dive into new tools or things without the foundational knowledge of how they are intended to work. And I think we want to maximize our productivity. So I think we should ask ourselves and brainstorm, how do we leverage AI? But one key point that was really driven home for me at the summit was that AI is here to assist you and I with our jobs, but it's not here to really do the jobs of a project/program manager. So no matter how AI continues to evolve, I and you as a project or program manager, we must still know the fundamentals, the principles, and the processes of project management. And there was one session that I sat in that kind of further drove home this point. The session was AI and earned value to manage your portfolio. And the objective of the session was to utilize earned value management to assess program and portfolio performance. So applying AI to kind of forecast those outcomes and trends. And so the session kind of started off with the speaker kind of discussing kind of the concepts and the theory behind earned value management, how it is applied, and how you could apply it. But what I learned new from him kind of starting off with the fundamentals was the concept of a sunburst diagram. It's a data visualization tool that is used to display data in a hierarchy type of way in project management. And how it works is using concentric circles to represent this hierarchy data, with each circle kind of representing a different level in that hierarchy. And in Dr. Bauer's presentation, he was depicting a sunburst diagram showing the connection of portfolios, programs, projects, and sub-projects, showing how it's possible to color segment these to indicate the earned value status. So it was very interesting, as I've never seen portfolios, programs, and projects really illustrated in that type of way. And it's kind of definitely still on my to-do list to explore kind of the value of using such a diagram to show the connection. Then the professor kind of transferred into kind of, again, what the session was all about, a more of advanced way of utilizing ChatGPT to calculate earned value management. And again, he really kind of, as I stated before, reinforced that point of needing to have the fundamental understanding of project management in the case of earned value management, and how to utilize it within AI to yield the best results. Don't just take the results as face value, because the original prompt did not give him the expected results. he was looking for based upon the concepts of earned value management. So he had to kind of prompt GPT a few times and change the settings. So again, I thought it was a very good demo of the fundamental project management concept being utilized within the application of AI. And some of the key takeaways from the session, which he kind of elaborated, were Gen AI is best suited to analyze large amounts of data. It can be used for earned value management to analyze project tracking and the progress in creating charts. But again, you have to really work on how you prompt it and again, how you analyze the data to understand did it output the correct data for you in what you were envisioning. And that it has the potential to generate the CPI and SPI to really depict those trends. So I think it's great to have tools to leverage in measuring project success. But oftentimes I found that it still leaves people asking the question, what do I do with this data? Because organizations have different ways in measuring project success other than earned value management. So PMOs within a company, they may set the standard on how to do this. And it's really been my mission in playing a role to advance PMOs to be more structured and robust to deliver what matters most. And that really is value to both the internal and external customers that we serve. So at the summit, I attended building a value-driven, customer-centric PMO. But how do we do that? I believe it starts with the foundation of the organization, which includes organizational strategy, a structure, industry profile, the company culture, and the maturity of the organization. Because within that foundation, you have the PMO structural components like the PMO mandate, which can be defined as the formalized purpose and scope of the PMO's existence, outlining its key objectives, responsibilities, and the specific value it's expected to deliver within that organization. Then you can have the PMO strategy, and that refers to the roadmap and action plan that guides the PMO in achieving its mandate. And of course, without governance, you always need governance. So really it's the PMO governance, and it's that structure of oversight of the policies and the decision-making processes that guide the PMO operations. And you start to build the customer-centric PMO through the customer experience cycles of exploration, design, deployment, enhancement, and realization. Now, on paper, that's all fine and dandy, and it seems simple, but it goes back to, well, how do I do that? So there are 10 steps in which one can take. And within these 10 steps, I believe it's not just identifying the steps, but I think identifying the context of the steps and the definitions on what do we mean when we say awareness building as the first step. What does that really entail? When I look at awareness building, I really think about it's kind of really honing into going back to the PMO mandate. It's really kind of the introduction of who we are as a PMO organization. What is our scope? What is our purpose? And communicating that purpose to the internal or external customers. Then you have the needs assessment. And I think this is, all the steps are critical But I think this is extremely important because I think we must first seek to understand the customer needs rather than try to get them to really understand what we want to offer them. Because I think oftentimes we say, well, what if they only use this tool, or what if they change this process? But is that what they really need, is another tool or process? There could be some other underlying things there that will just add more, I think, chaos and confusion by just always leading with a tool or a new process to integrate into already existing systems. Then you have, after awareness building, the needs assessment. The third step is the value proposition. So after you've gathered the needs from either the internal or external customer, you kind of think about the purpose and the service offerings that are going to deliver or drive that value based upon what the customer's strategic objective goals are. And then you begin to think about the service deployment, which is the fourth step. And the way I see that as building a roadmap of what is kind of being offered. And then as you build that roadmap, you have to think about the service onboarding, which is step 5. How do you identify the resources it will take to execute that roadmap and deliver that value to the customer? And then you have the service operations, which is step 6, executing the work. What is the standard operating procedures? What is the governance that enables us to drive that roadmap for our internal or external customers? But then also, as we work on the service to our customers, I think we have to really measure ourselves. So it's really the service performance and developing those metrics. And those metrics may come from what was identified in the needs assessment. Are we providing what the customers need or require of us? And it's always good to utilize, I think, an assessment, which is step 8. You think about the maturation, perform a maturity assessment to say, based upon our goals of what we assess from the customer needs, how mature are we in executing on our service offerings? And step 9 is the value delivery. And I look at this really as the continuous improvement. As I look at the maturity assessment as the baseline, how can I continuously improve my PMO to bring and drive that value that is needed? But I think in the midst of it, as project and program managers, we always we get caught up in the trenches. We get so caught up in the work and delivering the work, and that the most important step is the recognition, is to really celebrate that journey of value delivery and those milestones. Sometimes I know even once I reach, kind of the pinnacle of a certain milestone, or I deliver on a project, I'm off on to the next thing, because that's just in all the projects that I manage. But I do think recognition is a big one as well, to really celebrate that journey. And the speaker of the session left the audience with a great quote that really rung home for me. The value of a PMO is not a destination, but it's a continuous journey of evolution and transformation. Because as the organization is evolving, the PMO that serves the organization must too also evolve as well for its stakeholders. And I believe, we can't be content with how we operate. We must always, again, continuously improve and look at what brings the best, because we are service providers to our stakeholders, to our internal and external customers. And the last takeaway and insight I learned from the expo was showcase some really great vendors, had some really great Tech Talks and was really kind of knowing the difference between work management versus portfolio management. Because as I was talking to someone, a vendor, they were selling kind of or advertising and introducing people to their PPM tool. And I was talking about my work management tool. And that's when that really rung out for me. It's like, okay, it's really standardizing on what is work management versus PPM. So work management and project management is the mechanism of how tasks get tracked, how they get assigned, and how they get done. Portfolio management, or most PPM systems, what they really do, it gives the visibility of how the work is being executed and how it rolls up to the company's strategic objectives. I think these two distinctions are important because depending on the maturity of your organization, you can be sold on something you really don't need. Tools, I think, are great. They are here to help make our lives much easier, but we must know how and why. So when you go to the expos, you see all these new shiny and bright tools. And these companies, they have very, very great kind of a customer journey, I think, to capture new leads. They lure you in with demos, free trials. They assess your needs, persuade you that they can solve your problem. And before you know it, they got you. The contract is signed. The tool gets implemented in your organization. It rolls out, and chaos erupts from there. I've been down this path before, so I tried not to get caught up in the expo and the need to acquire something new. But it does take defining what a good work management system looks like for you as a project manager or a program manager. And I think it's always good to stay on top of the latest trends, the tools, and systems. Just be aware of the pitfalls and do your due diligence on these tools. I'm still digging and exploring some of the tools that I was introduced to. So I'm going to do some follow-up episodes to really kind of reveal what the tools are and kind of their capabilities, going over the pros as well as the cons, and just really kind of sharing and kind of highlight it so it enables you to really define what is the best work management system or the best PPM tool for you. So overall, the PMI Summit, it was a great learning experience. And I look forward to continuing to put into practice into what I learned. So whether you read books to stay up to date, listen to podcasts like Project Management Masterclass, go to conferences, I hope you will continue the journey with me in growing as a project and program manager. Thank you for tuning into Project Management Masterclass.
Thanks for listening to the Project Management Masterclass. If you're ready to lead at a higher level, explore the Power Skills Academy and start mastering the skills that drive real project success. Visit www.developpowerskills.com. The link is in the description. See you in the next episode.